Hello and welcome back to the Who's He Podcast YouTube channel. And this time I'm going to take a look at the latest episode of The Mandalorian, Chapter 18, The Mines of Mandalore. Picking up directly from last week, Din and Grogu get straight down to business by beginning their quest to find the living waters of Mandalore in order for Din to redeem himself in the eyes of the Children of the Watch. But before the trip to Mandalore, the pair of them stop by an old friend, Peli Motto, in the hope she can source them a logic circuit for IG-11. But even after consulting with a group of Jawas, Tatooine's diminutive scavengers, she draws a blank. However, Peli trays Mando an astromech droid, but it's no ordinary astromech droid. This is R5D4, the droid that blew its circuits after Owen Lars brought in from the Jawas in A New Hope. So after converting Din's starfighter, they head off to Mandalore, and this is where things get interesting. Mandalore, though destroyed after the Empire's purge, is not the poisonous wasteland that the remaining Mandalorians believed it to be. But after fighting off some Morlock-like creatures, Din and Grogu make their way into a cavern and then head towards the mines. But en route, Din is captured by a cyborg creature who begins to drain off his blood. But most importantly, the cyborg tosses aside the Darksaber. However, before he loses consciousness, he tells Grogu to get Bo-Katan, which he and R5 duly do. After rescuing Din using the Darksaber to slice up the cyborg, she decides to lead Din to the living waters in the mine. After arriving and stepping into the waters, Din is dragged under with Bo-Katan diving in to save him. And after finding him at the bottom, Bo jetpacks to the surface, but on the way they encounter a long believed to be extinct mythosaur, a creature that the Mandalorian creed and society was built on. So, with the episode ending on a cliffhanger, what does this mean for our heroes? Well, as much as I enjoyed it, I'm not sure where this leaves the characters. Din has certainly redeemed himself as he most definitely bathed in the living waters, but how does he prove that to the armourer? Also, is Bo-Katan to be trusted? While she came to Din's rescue twice in this episode and had a change of heart to take him to the mines, she kept reiterating throughout that her family once ruled Mandalore and was asking Grogu whether he was a powerful Force user. So I'm not totally convinced she is altogether to be trusted, but maybe this is deliberate at this stage of the season. I also found Din's quest to find living waters to be achieved rather quickly and conveniently. A big deal was made of reconstructing IG-11 in Chapter 17, but that appears to have been forgotten with the appearance of R5. Now, nice as it was to see R5 again, he just seemed to be dropped into the episode purely as a means to get Grogu to Bo-Katan. In other words, he was a plot convenience, and IG-11 now seems to be completely forgotten. But the one thing that really niggled me this episode was the Darksaber. With the tension built between Din and Bo-Katan after he won the Darksaber at the end of the last season, it seemed that Din and Bo were heading towards conflict, as Bo wants the Darksaber to lead Mandalore once more. But after Din lost it to the cyborg this episode, it came into Bo's possession, which she then used to defeat the cyborg. So shouldn't the Darksaber be now hers? Especially as she wields it much more effectively than Din, who still can't lift it off the ground. Well, it appears not, as Din was seen clipping it back to his belt after his first rescue of this episode. Now, maybe I'm playing too fast and loose with the Mandalorian mythos, but it did seem to me that this was overlooked purely to keep that plot point and character tension going. And the appearance of a mythosaur at the end of this episode is also a game changer, as this can also be used by someone to lay claim to Mandalore. But is the mythosaur and the Darksaber a route for both of them to restore Mandalore and reunite their people? Well, there does seem to be respect between Bo and Din, especially after her history lesson to Din about her family and how her father sacrificed himself for Mandalore. But despite this little niggle and a droid-sized plot convenience, I did find there was a lot to enjoy. The scenes of the ravaged surface of Mandalore look fantastic, and the design of the cyborg was very creepy, with a single humanoid eye peering out like a one-eyed General Grievous. Watching Bo-Katan taking down the cyborg was also well done, which shows the contrast between hers and Din's fighting styles. Bo's is elegant and swift, while Din makes, well, a bit of a meal of it if I'm honest. And this week we get to see that Grogu can more than hold his own, and that Din has been a good teacher. But it was a bit clunky with Din pointing out where Bo-Katan resides and then Grogu having to go to that exact planet later on. Another convenience. With him getting back to the surface of Mandalore to fetch help and helping Bo find his dad. Yes, Bo called Din Grogu's dad. He's branching out by himself, which is good to see from a character development point of view. And it also appears that he was speaking his first words. Oh, cute. So, while finding the mines of Mandalore was over very, very quickly, it has set up a potential twist with the appearance of the mythosaur. And we do know a certain famous Mandalorian who likes to ride animals. But I'm hoping they're not going to rush things, as a lot was covered in this episode, and the couple of plot contrivances I highlighted made Mando's redemption seem, well, less important than it was made out to be.